وَلَقَد زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ وَأَعْتَدْنَا لَهُمْ azaabas. Allah Ta'ala says that we have beautified the sky of the dunya with lamps. We've adorned it. And we have made those lamps in a way that they pelt and make far and distant the shayaateeni, the devils. And we prepared for them the punishment of a blazing fire. So last week we spoke of, there was the understanding of the tabarak, of the blessings of Allah Ta'ala within His creation, the immense of His goodness. There was Allah Ta'ala speaking of why He created us. Allah Ta'ala spoke of the power of the skies, the weight of the skies. Allah Ta'ala said, look at the skies and then keep looking at the sky. And after you've looked once, and a second time, a third time, look a fourth time, and a fifth time, keep looking. And try to look for any sort of fault within the creation of Allah. The system is perfect. The control over the system is also perfect. And now Allah Ta'ala is saying above that as well, there's beauty within it. There's beauty within the system now as well. So Allah Ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا, that the lowest sky, the lowest and closest sky to Bani Adam has been adorned, it's been made beautified. Dunya comes from dunu, which means for something to become close. Right? Over here it's not referring to dunya as alam, rather it is a description for the lowest sky. And so Allah Ta'ala says, and we made them lamps, masabih, right? And this comes from the three-letter root, subh, which is the small amount of light that we see in the morning, right? So that these stars in the sky, or these other objects, they work as lamps for the sky and their beauty. And the other function of the lamps, is that they drive the shayateen away. Shaitan comes from shatan, which means to rebel. And the Arabs wouldn't only call the devil shaitan, but an animal, a dabba. If you have an animal that is rebellious against you, your horse or your camel, then they would call it dabba shaitan. Right? And may Allah protect, if you have a child that's rebellious, then shaitan, right? But the Arabs would use it for more than just the devil. So it comes from shaitan. So Allah Ta'ala is giving an understanding of here as well, which is paving the way to the next ayah, which is people who are rebellious don't have a place within the mulk, within the dominion of Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala drives them away. وَأَعْتَدْنَا لَهُمْ azaabas, and that we have prepared for them. I'tida is a military form of preparation. It's like when someone is preparing to go into battle. Azaabas, the painful punishment of a blazing fire. Sa'ir is that scorching and extremely that fire which is extreme, has been in a very extreme manner. It has been given a start. And azab is punishment which continues. Azab is punishment which continues, unlike iqab. وَلِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, in the next ayah Allah Ta'ala says, after Allah Ta'ala now spoke of the beauty of the sky, Allah Ta'ala is saying, right after the system you still reject. After the beauty within the system you still reject. You're still rebellious. Right? Then what is for those people? Then for those people, the people of disbelief, وَلِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ عَذَابُ جَهَنَّمَ. Then the people who disbelieve with their Lord, for them is the punishment of Jahannam. Kufr, linguistically going down to the meaning of it, it actually means to hide something, to conceal something. And it actually refers to the action of the farmer. When he takes the seed and he conceals it within the dirt. He takes the seed, he covers it within the dirt. So those people who conceal and they try to hide something which is so obvious, the skies are so obvious, the ni'mas of Allah are so obvious, but you try to hide it. The Allah's divine signs are within it, very apparent, but you hide it. بِرَبِّهِمْ, Allah Ta'ala didn't say billah, Allah didn't say bil khaliq, Allah said بِرَبِّهِمْ, with their Lord. Rabb means a lot more than just Lord though. Rabb is one who sustains you, Rabb is one who takes you from point A to point B, all the way to Z. Right? From the moment Allah Ta'ala created you, and then He took you through every stage, and then He, after giving you life as a child, took you through the stages of childhood, then made you an adult, and then all these stages, that Rabb is with you. The Rabb is with you side by side. The Rabb is always taking care of you. Rabb is a master. Rabb is your master. As a master, He sustains you. So you get the qualities of disbelief within the master. So you take the blessings of your master. You are taking everything from your master. But then when it comes to being loyal to Him, you're not being loyal to Him. You're not being grateful. That's why from kufr, also there's the word kufran. Kufran means to be ungrateful. People of kufr people of disbelief are ungrateful. They have nothing to be grateful for. Because the first and foremost thing a person is supposed to be grateful for is what? Allah Ta'ala. Everything was brought into existence because of Him. And sometimes, this idea comes to mind that, Jahannam is so bad. Allah Ta'ala protect us. Right? But, how such a bad punishment for just, all he did was disbelief. An example could be given. It's not, the example is just for us to try to understand better. You have a person who's a philanthropist. He goes and he serves the world. He talks about all forms of humanities. But let's just say after that person comes back from fundraisers, after that person comes back from volunteering, he comes home every day and he comes home and he beats his parents or he beats his mother. Would you forgive because of all of his good actions just this one sin? It's a very bad sin. What is the mother's rank in a person's life? That mother gave birth to him. That mother took care of him. That mother did everything for him, and now, this is the way he repaid. That person, no matter what, will still go to jail. He's still going to have to go behind bars. Same way, right? Allah Ta'ala's recognizing Allah Ta'ala is the greatest thing upon the human being. It is the greatest responsibility. And it is clear and manifest and very important that every single person, they come to acknowledge this. So these people who disbelieve in their Lord, and this is like one of these scholars, he says, يَأْكُلُونَ خَيْرَهُ وَيَعْبُدُونَ غَيْرَهُ. That they eat the goodness, they're going to still benefit from Allah Ta'ala's goodness. No matter what, you're a believer or you're a disbeliever, you're taking your breath, you have your health, you're eating your food, this is all coming from Allah Ta'ala. So you're eating His goodness, but then on the other hand, the disbeliever goes and he worships someone else, or he doesn't worship anyone at all. Worshipping no one at all is the same as worshipping other beings other than Allah as well. So for those people is the punishment of Jahannam. Jahannam is a debated word amongst the scholars. Is it actually Arabic or not? Right? Is it originally Arabic or Arabicized? Did the Arabs take it? Did they borrow it and then use it within the Arab language? And there seems to be two masadir, two places from which the word Jahannam can be derived from. One referring to a well, which is very, very deep. Raqiyya Jahannam, a very, very deep well, and stemming from that possibly the depth of Jahannam. Jahannam is very deep. Jahannam is very, very giant in size. The other being Jahannam also has another root which seems to be to frown. And that will become apparent why as well. This could be also an understanding. وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرِ. And this is the worst place that a person can find his destiny to be. A person can make journey and then stop his journey there. This is the worst place. When you want to, in the Arabic language, if you want to praise something and you want to, in one word, gather many different praises, you'll just say ni'ma, for example. Ni'ma rajul anta. You're the best man, right? You're the best man. And that can mean so many good things. But then if I want to say the worst, then I can say the same. Bi'sa rajul. The worst, right? The same with bi'sa al-masir. And so, sirul bab, the actual verb means when the door closes, right? When a door is closing and it comes right, its frame, it gets shut right in the frame and it falls perfectly right in place. That's how it is. That these people, they had a chance, right? They had a chance, but they never thought, they never did anything. And now what was right in front of them, they're falling right into it. What was right in front of them, they're falling right into it. They could have thought a little bit and they would have planned it. They would have known better. Had they thought a little better? Allah Ta'ala protect us. إِذَا أُلْقُوا فِيهَا. In the next ayah, Allah Ta'ala says, إِذَا أُلْقُوا فِيهَا سَمِعُوا لَهَا شَهِيقًا وَهِيَ تَفُورُ. And that when the disbelievers are thrown, over here Allah Ta'ala is showing His anger with these people. So He's not even mentioning how they're going to be thrown or who is throwing them. He's saying they're just going to be thrown. They're just going to be thrown in there from a passive voice. When they will be thrown in there, then they will hear from it shahiqan wa hiya tafur. When they will be thrown within the fire, then they will hear from the fire shahiqan. Shahiq is a very loud and bothersome groaning and scream. Right? Possibly also when a person is very angry and he's trying to resist to scream, he starts breathing hard and that noise emanates from inside of him. Like a very strong noise. That noise is shahiq. And this is also because Allah Ta'ala gives the picture of Jahannam as a very angry, almost like a very angry human being. Jahannam as a very angry human being. So when they're going to be thrown, while they're being thrown, they're going to hear this terrible noise, this very terrible noise from Jahannam. It will be emanating from Jahannam. The scholars now will explain in their branch, is it from the fire and the blazes within Jahannam, or is it Jahannam itself? And many scholars have the opinion that it will be Jahannam itself, right? Jahannam itself will have a personality. Allah Ta'ala will speak with Jahannam on the day of resurrection, right? In Surah Al-Qaf, Allah Ta'ala says, Allah Ta'ala will speak with Jahannam. وَهِيَ تَفُورُ. And that the fire, the Jahannam will be in such a condition, Jahannam will be in such a condition that it will be overflowing. Fara yafuru, it means for something to boil and then to overflow. Right? Sometimes in the Arabic language it's referred to as fara dam, that the blood, the high blood pressure, whatever, it raises. The blood becomes extreme, it raises. Right? Or fawara, referring to a fountain. Right? A fountain, something which it's overflowing. So the Jahannam, it will be overflowing. And then the next ayah is a hal. The next ayah is a condition which is branching off of this ayah, explaining to us more of this condition, that it will be boiling and overflowing to the extent تَكَادُ تَمَيَّزُ مِنَ الْغَيْبِ. تَكَادُ تَمَيَّزُ مِنَ الْغَيْبِ. So much so that it will be almost as if it is on the verge of exploding. It is on the verge of exploding out of anger. مِنَ الْغَيْبِ, out of anger. And we'll break this up. Takadu referring to, when something is about to do something. Tamayyazu, it generally refers to separation of two things, right? To separate two entities. but it can also mean for something to erupt, for something to explode, right? And it should be tatamayyaz, right? It should be tatamayyaz. But in the Arabic language, sometimes letters are taken out, but the meaning will still remain the same. So you have the meaning, you place it within the box, which is the scale, tafa'ul, tamayyuz, and then you run it upon those scales. But then you can change it a little bit as well to give a different feeling, a different meaning. So tamayyazu, the reason why the first ta is not there is to tell us this is going to happen very quickly. It's going to happen very quickly. It will be all of a sudden. So Jahannam will be on the verge of exploding out of anger. And ghayz is what? Ghayz is hidden anger. When the Arabs would speak about ghayz, they would call a pot which is boiling, but it's not overflowing, halimatun mughtada. The pot, it's steady, it's in its place, but it's boiling within itself. Right? So anger, which is boiling within a person, you can't see it yet. Right? He's holding it in, but it's there. It's boiling, that's a ghayz. It's hidden anger. So this Jahannam is Allah Ta'ala is giving it this sort of personality for us, right? That Jahannam is on the verge of overflowing and boiling out of anger. كُلَّمَا أُلْقِيَ فِيهَا فَوْجٌ سَأَلَهُمْ خَزَنَتُهَا أَلَمْ يَأْتِكُمْ نَذِيرٌ. And that whenever within that fire, right, a fawj, an army of people will be thrown. Fawj, an army being great numbers. The disbelievers will be thrown in great numbers together, right? Once they're raised, and the hujjah, the Allah Ta'ala's evidence and His proof, which will be placed in His court justly against these people, right? And once that has been made clear, then what will happen? These people will be thrown in great numbers, and they will be thrown in the fire of Jahannam. And then the keepers of Jahannam, khazanatuha, the angels, the keepers of Jahannam, they will ask those people, Alam ya'tikum nadhir? Did a warner not come to you? Did a warner not come to you? And this is obviously a rhetorical question. Although there is an answer in the next ayah, the point of the question wasn't to get an answer. The point of the question was, you had a chance. Why didn't you? You had a chance. And so the keepers of Jahannam will have this dialogue with them, with the people of Jahannam. And then they will answer and they will say, قَالُوا بَلَا قَدْ جَاءَنَا نَذِيرٌ. They will say, of course, Bala. When you're asked a question in the negative annotation, right? Did you not do this? Right? To give affirmation that you did, right? Or to give affirmation of a positive answer, you'll say bala, right? For confirmation, for ta'qeed. So they will say bala, and then they will reinforce it with even more ta'qeed, with even more confirmation. Qad, right? Surely a warner, قَدْ جَاءَنَا نَذِيرٌ. Surely a warner came to us. Now the angels, they said, أَلَمْ يَأْتِكُمْ نَذِيرٌ, which also means, أَتَى يَأْتِي also means to come. But they're answering and they're saying that a warner did come to us, but they're using a different verb to give us a different meaning. أَتَى يَأْتِي is a form of coming which is quick, it's swift, It's like, someone comes and they go, you may not know them. So the angels are asking in a way, maybe, obviously they're not giving any sort of doubt, but let's give them room. Let's give the people of Jahannam something so that they can answer. Did any sort of warner maybe not come to you? And they will answer and they'll say, surely a warner came to us. Ja'a yaji'u is a great coming. It's when a great person comes. Or when you want to refer to something great that just has come, and you acknowledge its presence, you'll say Ja'a yaji'u, it came. It's different. So Ja'ana nadir, that a warner has surely come to us. A warner surely came to us. And Allah Ta'ala is also now speaking of all of this in the past tense, like it's already happened, right? In the past tense, like it's already happened. People, when they see a person's future become their past, they take a lesson from it, right? Oh, did you see what happened to that person? Did you see what happened to that person? Right? Look what a bad condition he fell into, right? You saw his future became a very bad present, and now it's a lessonful past. It's a madi full of ibrah, a past full of lesson, full of reflection. Allah Ta'ala wants the disbelievers to reflect. Think of it. This is going to be the condition of those people. This is going to be their condition. They will say, surely a warner came to us, فَكَذَّبْنَا, but we denied. We denied. We didn't just deny the warner. They didn't say فَكَذَّبْنَاهُ, we denied the warner, we denied him. No, but when you deny the warner, you deny everything that comes with it. You deny the warner, you deny the message, you deny at the end of the day the tawheed of Allah Ta'ala, you deny acknowledging and learning of Allah Ta'ala, you deny the message and the book possibly which is supposed to be given to you. All of that you deny. So they said in one go, in one word, فَكَذَّبْنَا, we denied. And what did we deny? We generally denied everything. We denied everything. فَكَذَّبْنَا وَقُلْنَا, and we said, مَا نَزَّلَ اللَّهُ مِنْ شَيْءٍ, Allah Ta'ala did not reveal anything. There was nothing, not a single thing that Allah Ta'ala revealed. There was not a single thing. Right? You have the warner, that's one sort of revelation, right? That's one thing that Allah sends. Then you have His ayat, right? You have His signs in the skies, you have His signs in the skies which you were supposed to look at, the beauty, the stars, all those things, right? You were supposed to look at those things. But they're saying, what did we do? We said that Allah Ta'ala didn't reveal anything. And they said this to the warners. And now think, Allah Ta'ala sent compassion to people like Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allah sent compassion to people like Ibrahim Alayhi Salam. Right? Allah, the Prophet told us of what their people did with them. Right? Allah Ta'ala sent a person, a great Nabi like Nuh Alayhi Salam. For 950 years he's giving da'wah. For 950 years he's giving da'wah. What kind of passion he must have had. What kind of compassion, what kind of rifq, care and kindness he had towards his people. For 950 years. But what did they say? مَا نَزَّلَ اللَّهُ مِنْ شَيْءٍ, Allah Ta'ala didn't reveal anything. And on top of that, not only did He not reveal anything, إِنْ أَنْتُمْ إِلَّا فِي ضَلَالٍ كَبِيرٍ, rather all of you prophets, you're all astray. You've lost it yourself. And look at the form in which Allah Ta'ala, when a disbeliever disbelieves, and they choose to disbelieve, remember, the choice is in the human being's hand to believe or to disbelieve. When the disbeliever disbelieves, Allah Ta'ala is showing how it was so apparent to this person and he could have done something, but he remained very firm upon his disbelief. And look at the context, look at the words he's saying. The disbeliever, that I disbelieved, and then on top of that, I questioned the one who revealed and the revelation itself, and then I completely subjected the blessed and sacred prophets who were sent to being false and to being incorrect and to being in loss. And look at the confirmation they say, right? Right? Look at the different balaghi, different rhetorical devices that Allah Ta'ala is using to explain. Right? You have like 5-6 different ways. The istithna, the word illa over here, in over here, which is coming bima'na nafi, with the meaning of negation, and then the tankir of dalal, the word dalal coming in the general tense, and then after that being reinforced by a sifa, kabir, by a quality and a description, right? So they're not only saying that you were astray, they're saying you were nothing but astray. You were nothing but astray. And they didn't say you were nothing but astray, rather you were nothing but in the condition of being astray. Fi dalal. So a person has a journey from from Miami to Fort Lauderdale, right? And then he goes to every single place on the map but Fort Lauderdale. That's how lost he is. He goes everywhere else. That's what they're saying the prophets were. They went everywhere else. They couldn't make it to the right place though. And so in the Quran, when Allah Ta'ala speaks of guidance, He says ala huda, upon guidance. But when He speaks of misguidance, He says fi dalal. You're within misguidance, because misguidance is like darkness that you get lost inside of. Right? So they're saying that you are in great misguidance. Rather, you are nothing but in great misguidance. That's what they say to the prophets. And then after some time, after spending some time within the fire, they say, وَقَالُوا لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ أَوْ نَعْقِلُ مَا كُنَّا فِي أَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. They will say, or they said, that only had we listened, and had we acknowledged, we would have today not been from the people of the blazing fire. Only had we acknowledged. And so the form of hearing being spoken of over here is the hearing of a person who obeys, right? Samaaa'ad of ta'ah, a hearing of obedience. Aql meaning, had we understood, had we tried to understand the message and the warning of the prophets, the message of Allah Ta'ala, then today we wouldn't have been from the community, the people of the fire. And then Allah Ta'ala says, and we end upon this ayah, فَاعْتَرَفُوا بِذَنْبِهِمْ, and that they confess. So they confessed of their sin. They confessed of their sin. But what benefit is their confession now? They confess of their sin, but what benefit is their confession? Right? They're having dialogue with the angels of Jahannam, the great in size, terrible, scary angels of Jahannam. That they're having dialogue. Maybe the angels will let us go. Maybe the angels can take us out. Maybe the angels can save us. Right? And so they confess of their sin, and this could refer to all of their sins, but at the same time it could be singular, referring to the one and mother of all sins, which was the disbelief, which is enough. That is enough for a person. So they confess of their sin. فَسُحْقًا لِأَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. And away with the people of the fire. Suhq means, right? Sahaqa, it means to completely destroy something, or when something would fall from a very long distance and it comes and it breaks into pieces. So the Arabs would say this. They would say it to a person, when they want him to go away, go get away from here, be distant. They would say suhqa, right? And it's a form of like desiring a punishment for that person. Get away from here. Allah Ta'ala is using this very strong word for these people. On the day of resurrection, the same word will be used to people who after the Prophet ﷺ, they didn't follow his sunnah, so they tried to come into the line in which the Rasul will be standing in the mahshar and he will be giving water to his people. The angels will come and they'll say, Suhqan, go away from here. You don't belong here. Allah Ta'ala protect us. فَسُحْقًا لِأَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. Allah Ta'ala is using this very strong word for these people, that away with the people of the fire. Away with the people of the fire. This is part of Surah Al-Mulk, which speaks about the wa'id. Right? Allah Ta'ala spoke about the beauty. Allah Ta'ala spoke about the kingdom. Allah Ta'ala spoke about the skies. He related that to the aspect of disbelief. Right? The fact that the kingdom should be a reason for you to believe, then why do you disbelieve? And then if you're going to disbelieve, then look that these are the consequences for those who disbelieve. These are the consequences. Right? This is not something which should make any of us feel good at all, ever, right? We should pray for the guidance of others. We should cry for the guidance of others. Right? For us living in a society, how could we have neighbors who are disbelievers and not cry for them? What type of hearts do we have? We have neighbors who are disbelievers and we don't care. This should be very worrisome for us. We should care. We're Muslim. This is our responsibility. We should pray, may Allah Ta'ala guide them. May Allah Ta'ala guide every single one of them. The Rasul ﷺ cried for the guidance of all of his people. No matter how they were, he cried for the guidance of his people. May Allah Ta'ala protect us. May Allah Ta'ala guide others as well. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdihi, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakumullahu khairan.